Some monuments don't fall in silence. They fall with a weight the world can hear.
Hope begins as a decision, made quietly, before anyone else believes.
Strength isn't loud. It's measured. One knot, one step, one steady hand.
Two strangers, one plan. Lift a symbol without breaking what's left of it.
To rebuild the outside, they first listen to the bones.
She turns chaos into geometry, lines that say, safe and not safe.
He doesn't need speeches. The work itself becomes the call.
Rebuilding starts with sorting, pain into pieces, pieces into purpose. They choose a path that lets the statue rise without tearing itself apart.
Power returns, not from the grid, from grit.
Triangles, anchors, patience, the language that holds up the world.
Every click is a promise. Nobody falls today.
Before the rise, there's always a moment of fear, measured in dust. Precision is compassion. It keeps the structure and the people alive. Muscle becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes lift. Even failure can be useful if it teaches you where the weak point hides. They don't argue. They adapt. That's how rebuilding works.
Find the flame, and you find the reason to keep going.
She searches for alignment, proof that broken doesn't mean over.
The torch rises first, small victory, huge signal.
They treat it like a relic and like a tool, because it's both.
In the dark, the work feels bigger, and the will has to be bigger too. They stitch the wounds with fire, careful not to scorch the future.
A structure speaks. She listens.
No words, just timing. That's enough.
Day 2. The island looks less like ruin and more like a workshop.
Permission isn't paperwork here. It's responsibility.
A few degrees can be a miracle if they're controlled. He protects the small things. Small things decide big outcomes. Anchors are faith you can touch. Sometimes the bravest move is to stop.
Nature tests the work. The work answers back. Before anything rises, the plan has to be stronger than the fear. It doesn't stand by magic. It stands by physics and people who refuse to quit.
Control isn't force. Control is timing.
The moment it settles, the island feels lighter. Rebuilding the skin is patience made visible.
Piece by piece, the gaps become seams. the seams become a hole.
Up high, trust is steel, and the click that proves it's locked.
Up close, you realize the truth. This isn't a piece of metal. It's a mountain of history. A limb returns to the body, and the city remembers its own strength. Attachment is a moment. Verification is the ritual. Even the crown has to be made true again, slowly, honestly. Up close, you realize how enormous it is, cleaning one small patch at a time, like tending to a giant that finally survived.
They carry the flame the way you carry something fragile, slow, steady, together.
Suspended between ruin and renewal, the flame waits for its place. Perfect isn't loud. It's the sound of two edges meeting without force.
Light is engineered. Hope is earned.
Rebuilding includes the quiet work nobody celebrates until it's done.
She checks it one last time, not for beauty, but for truth. Because something this big only earns trust when it stands exactly as it should.
The final latch is the end of emergency and the start of memory.
She stands again, stitched, steadied, and ready to be seen. A flame doesn't erase the dark. It proves the dark isn't absolute. No speeches, just witnesses to a second beginning. Perfection is made of details, and details are made of time.
When the light returns, the city remembers how to look forward. Builders don't chase applause. They chase stability.
He doesn't stare at the wreck. He stares at what survived.
They didn't just rebuild a statue. They rebuilt a signal.